Your theories are the worst kind of popular tripe, your methods are sloppy, and your conclusions are highly questionable.
Alright everybody, here we go. We're going to make some more progress and continue our journey where we left off. So the last thing I remember doing is kind of trying to get everyone as much equipment as I could possibly get them from the store, and now we have everyone ordered properly, we have everyone equipped as much as they can, and we're going to try to explore the rest of the town and see what we can find. So, as you recall, now that all of my people have the mapmaker skill, we are actively mapping when we walk around. Okay, so this is the tavern where everyone goes to unwind, imbibe some alcohol, and see the mailman, and George went. But you can see here that it's closed, and you can't come back. Or no, they want you to come back between 6 p.m. and 5 p.m. So, oh boy, I'm having technical difficulties reading 5 a.m. Now, this is important because if we go back and we push the I key to get the information, like I said before, the time of day is relevant in this game. You can pass time easily just by moving around. You can rest. You can... I don't know if there's any other constructive way to just pass time, but anyway, play euchre, something like that. Okay, now, when I move over here, we see this appears to just be a normal wall, beautiful blue wall, and the lizard here in the corner is frantically waving his arm. I don't know if he used to wave his arm that frantically, or if things are just sped up in the emulation of this. But anyway, this is because I have a character who's got the skill to detect hidden passages, and so this is indicating to me that there is indeed something behind this. So, how do you get through a wall made of solid stone? Well, in my case, I send my 2 green ninjas, my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle people in the front, right through it with the bash button. So I'm going to push B. Now, doing that, my people, jacked up as they are on steroids, are able to just lower their shoulder and plow through stone. And we've done that. Now, that is amazing. But what's perhaps more amazing is the fact that I have encountered my first moose rats. Okay, so this is kind of what an encounter looks like in this game. It's my first foray into the battlefield. Now, it's turn-based, so although they're salivating and their drool pile seems to be accumulating, they aren't going to attack me until initiative has been determined and I take an action, and then they go. Now, they were actually a square behind where that wonderful looking treasure chest is, but they had to advance on me, and that kind of took their action, I believe, so they've used up their action for the round. Sometimes if monsters are really fast, they'll just attack you before you even get to do anything, and that's horrifying, but we're still early on, and we're ninjas. By God, we should be quick. Now, I think it's worth taking a moment to just really drink in these moose rats. So, they are large, enormous, as we saw through the gate before. They are menacing, their claws look really sharp, they look extraordinarily well muscled. They both seem to have a nick cut out of their right ear there. I don't know if that's probably some kind of ritualistic mark you get when you're serving the Rat Overlord. You have that nick taken out. He perhaps has a necklace where he collects that flap of skin from each willing moose rat. I'm not sure, or that just could be some kind of, genetic thing. Don't know. But it definitely identifies them. Their tail looks really scary. It's wagging back and forth. They seem to think this is play, and they will gladly play with my skeletons, but we're going to try to defeat them. If you look in the upper right, there's a little scroll that comes down, and it says combat, and it tells us who we're fighting, so we get the name of these creatures for our records. And we also see who we are targeting by this box that's outlining the first moose rat. And then the green on their name, for the font of their name, indicates their level of health. Now, if I can click, to change the target if I want, and now I'm in combat. And so my actions over here have changed somewhat. So I now can do any of these actions that are listed over here. Drink a potion, run away, defend, skewer, I guess, use a spell, attack with our swords, change our equipment maybe, and then get information. So I'm going to click this. Oh, okay. Maybe this is the thing that lets everybody attack. I'm not sure, but what I am sure about is that Twinkle has gone down in a pile. He's dead. There are flowers on the man's grave, okay? And the blue with the tombstone indicates clear as day that this guy's dead. If I click cast a spell, I don't know if anybody has any spells. This even tells me that she's not a spellcaster, so that's a complete bust. Oh, and I think maybe we just work down the line here in terms of who's going when. But what happened is, I believe I attacked here, and then these guys, these moose rats, were faster than me, and they got the next attack in, and they hit Lady Green and chilled the very weak Twinkle. Now, what this tells me is that my arrangement of my party with the weaker people in the back, I was very sure that would help me, and it came up completely useless. These people died. There was no protection from the people in the front. Hidden Hunk is doing great. Hasn't been hit. These people are both injured, but it's because they bashed through the wall and hurt their shoulders. So everything I may have said before is complete garbage. Now, it could just be like it is in many of these older games with positioning like this, that there's just a random chance that they get hit, and it's decreased if they're in the back, and the odds are higher that the people in the front will get hit. That could be a thing, but we just maybe got really unlucky, and these people got hit. So that's where we're at now. We did inflict some damage on this first moose rat, so he's down to yellow, so that's kind of encouraging. Okay, so I think what I did maybe is maybe this auto attacks with everybody for the whole round, and then this is individual attacks. I'm not sure, because that would make sense that I attacked for the whole round with all of my characters, went through the full list, and then they got to attack. And so, if you think about it like that, we all get to act, and then they act, perhaps. No. Dead wrong about that. So what happened was, after my first character goes, Hairy Hand, then the moose rats go. That seems to be the order of the initiative. And I don't know if Hairy Hand just gets to go first because he's jacked up on blessings, but I can tell you that our party is not doing well. We've got 2 tombstones, and Quiet Riot has gone unconscious. You can see her eyes are closed. Her mouth is still open, in, the barred kind of snarl that she usually, that we've come to know and love at this point. But, we've lost 50% of our party. I will tell you that, as I recall, with the resurrection fees, healing an unconscious person is much more doable finance-wise than a dead person. Now, we're first level. I think the price scales on level, but it's still going to be a hit to our money. So if we ever had dreams of putting our nest egg into Zahab's vaults and getting to visit Myron again, those are out the window. This is really hurting our long-term investment strategy. But we don't really have to worry about the long term right now because we're about to die. So Hidden Hunk just fell asleep from too much damage, and his body is futilely trying to repair itself. And we are left with Hairy Hand and Fat Shadow. So I'm just going to click this. And the dragon has closed his mouth. Okay, so the dragon closing his mouth is as bad as it seems. Our entire party has been consumed by a dragon so large that it took a bite out of all of our dead bodies, the moose, rats, and the town, and sent us back to this screen. So I can only imagine that Shelton is laughing hysterically, and we have to go back to our previous save. So this is a good reminder for me of this game, which is that it's hard. And especially if you have stacked the deck against yourself with a party of good ninjas, which ninjas are real squishy. They are quite light. And so without proper equipment and training, we're people in pajamas going against rats the size of a car. And so it's not looking good for us. I think if I'm, have any intention of beating that encounter, I'm going to need to bless everybody to the full extent. But even then, I think that might be too hard for us. 2 moose rats. I'd much rather just take 1. Because they hit really hard. Or at least they hit ninjas really hard. So I think we need to kind of go back to the drawing board and not get risky. That treasure chest can give you some, as I remember, like you can get some really nice gear in there. It's totally random, but you could get like some just outrageously good weapon that can help secure the beginning part of the game for you. So I was trying to get, see if we can get through that, but it looks like we're not going to get through that. So it's like we have a party of ninjas who are not strong, and then we have me, Dr. Incompetent, who is, despite years of academic training, incompetent in gaming and pretty much all things. So we are looking at a very, very uphill climb here. But that's what I came here for. That's what I enjoy. And so let's take a look at the rest of the town. All right, there's the Lonely Hearth. These fountains are all still sludged up. My God. Okay. I missed my opportunity to shoot my bow because I was just incompetently charging ahead. But we managed to get into this battle, and you saw the graphic of the 4 purple diamonds. That usually means that they're casting some kind of spell or doing a special ranged attack at you. And that's what this guy was doing. And when we look at this guy, we see that he is a bubble man. Alright, now, a bubble man doesn't sound too scary to me, and actually it sounds really cool and delightful. You can imagine taking a bubble bath with a bubble man, and all of the things that would ensue in that steaming tub with the froth of the bubbles, and the excitement. and relaxation. I'm thinking about a bath right now, but I have a bubble man in front of me, and I've got to deal with it. So I see these red eyes bouncing back and forth, and the bubbles kind of bursting off of him, and I'd like to enjoy the bubble man, but he has proven himself hostile. Again, the moving bat mouth means that there's danger nearby, and luckily for us, we can see this danger. And with your danger sense, you can sense danger through walls and maybe one square away, so that gives you an idea that, like, it's not clear or the crap's about to happen. But if you're just running around wildly like I am, you ignore the danger sense and you lose your ability to shoot with your bow. You get hit a couple of times for nothing, but we've lucked out and we're alive. So let's try to attack. I'm going to push A and just kind of attack. And just like before, the rest of my party is slow as bananas, but Hairy Hand with his blessings is, just going fast. He got to attack, but this bubble man, he's singular and he hits a lot more gently than the moose rats, which you can expect. He's bubbles, bubbles hitting you. It almost feels good, it's like a healing kind of thing, and so we're not too worried about this. However, oh, that's right, Hunk, you hit him hard. Okay, so a couple of things I want to mention here. The bubble man is slippery. You see what I did? And that means he's evasive. He's going to be hard to hit. And so, even though he doesn't hit for much, he is probably harder to hit than those moose rats who are big and slow. But they might have more armor. I don't know. What I will tell you is that the graphics in this game, as tremendous as they are, and if you guys haven't done so already, you need to get a display that is, at the very least, 4K. And go on 4K, get your HDR going. I'd like an OLED screen or better if you can get that. Otherwise, the colors aren't going to pop. The images aren't going to be what they should be. But anyway, you saw the blood explode from the bubble man. And one of the cool cartoony things about this game is the blood explodes when you hit something with a physical attack. And the bigger the explosion of blood, the harder you've hit something. So you can get to the point later in this game where you're like filling the portrait window here, the view window, with a blood explosion. And that always feels good. And it's that kind of satisfaction that'll bring you back. But we know that the Bubble Man's health bar is now yellow. He has been dinged a little bit. All right, let's see if Twinkle can redeem himself and lash out. Okay, that awesome sound effect, that means he's missed. Let's see if Fat Shadow can. No, nothing happened there. Lady Green. Okay, she hit him, and she got the smallest blood splash you can get. It was smaller than Hidden Hunk's, which makes sense. Hidden Hunk is extremely strong. His might is 18, if I recall correctly. So, might is giving you a bonus to your damage, and Hidden Hunk's weapon might just be better because the loot tends to filter from top to bottom. It's a pyramid scheme. But anyway, a hit is a hit. Okay. Fat Shadow has been hit, but he's still okay. Okay. I'm just swinging away. Oh my god. We won. Okay. We actually defeated a foe. So this is a cause for celebration. I'd love to go over to the tavern and just knock a bunch back. And by the way, you can get your characters absolutely intoxicated in this game, and their facial expressions when they're drunk are, worth the price of admission. But anyway, we'll do that later, celebrating our first victory. But I want to go to the party screen, and I want to look, and now my party, everybody has 41 experience at this point. We all get experience at the same rate, it appears, and so we all got 41 for beating that guy. Now, if you click on the EXP medal, because that's what happens when you raise a level, they just give you another medal. And so, we're hoping to wear as many medals as possible. We need 1,500 for the next level. And, we have a long way to go, but we're slowly progressing. And so my thoughts before about this heroism buff, perhaps giving you a bonus to either level or experience, was just way off. And so let's not even dwell on how wrong I was about that. Now, here's the Raven's Guild, which is the spell casting place. And I don't think my people can learn spells anyway, unfortunately, at least not at this level. But as you can see, if I try to go in, they're going to be closed, and they're only open during the night because they're creepy. And, it makes sense to learn magic at night when you can't read the spellbook. But anyway, that's when they're open. And so, you can do things at night like go drinking and learn magic. And preferably, you're doing both of those at the same time, in whatever order you want. You hit the tavern first, do a little pre-game. You go to the guild, you learn your spell, and then you go back to the tavern and get just absolutely plowed and use your spell as many times as you can that you learn in that state to really master it. And I think that's just a common pattern for all budding wizards and witches in this universe. But anyway, for us, that's doing nothing. Okay, here's another fountain. It's green ooze, so that means crap. That means it's polluted. And so later, I think once the water purifies, we can do things with these fountains, but for now, we're ruined. Okay, and we see a gate, again, let me just highlight my own incompetence. The danger sense is not ticking, even though there is a dude directly in front of us. I don't know if that's a failure of our danger sense, but it's definitely a failure of my understanding of the game, which, as we progress, you're going to just understand how little I know about this game, even though it's a game that I've invested many hours in. But anyway, if I want to fight, it looks like I can just fight one moose rat, which is great. I would much prefer one as opposed to two. However, I will start at the disadvantage of not getting any ranged attacks because bashing is an action and he'll be up on me instantly. And then my first two people will start down in hit points because they're going to just dislocate their shoulders. So maybe later. Now, here's training grounds. The training grounds is where you go to level up. If you level up in the field in this game, just in terms of hitting that experience barrier, you don't actually get the benefit until you come and train. And training costs money, and so, you need to be well financed and have the experience to even get up a level. So we'll try to go there later. Okay. Here's the secret door, which I'm terrified of. And, here's the portal. At this point, I'm just kind of walking over my steps again to map the area. Okay. I'm okay with this. I think I'm gonna just have to try and take that moose rat. But God knows if I have a chance. Now, what I am going to do is attempt to hit up the temple, get everyone to full, and heal everyone. And then I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to save my game. I'm going to do some ruthless, cheap shenanigans where I save my game right in front of it and try it. If the dragon's mouth, closes on my adventure, I'll start right back there. I can try it again if I feel like I got a bad break in terms of the rolls and the luck, or I can just go somewhere else and see what I can do to level up without fighting moose rats, who might be altogether too difficult for ninjas at this point. So I'm going in. Alright, calciferous flames are licking, and the silent dudes are praying, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of move around and with each person with the F keys, and I'm going to donate until there's just blessings everywhere. The healing is cheap. The donations aren't costing me too much, 40 or 50 or so. And I think if you want to do these sequentially, like, you need to do them in a row to get the blessings. So you don't want to like donate a few times and then heal, because then your donation count has reset and you're going to have to donate again. Don't quote me on that, but that's just kind of how it felt right there on Lady Green. So let's just save some coin, shall we? Let's be penurious. All right. I'm moving out. I'm healed. I'm buffed. And I'm going to do my best. Alright, I'm going to save the game right here. Saving it. Alright, game saved. Okay. Let's see what happens. Bashing it. Okay, we're bashed. We're in. Alright, so far, this is perhaps starting a little bit better than before. Hairy Hand has hit the moose rat. Okay. Oh. Hidden Hunk's really just pulling his weight. I mean, that small medium explosion, that is close to exciting several explosions in my loins. Just seeing it happen. Oh, fat shadow, fat blood splurge, excellent work. Oh my god, Shadow's been hit. Shadow's hurt. The nice thing about a party of ninjas is I don't really have to worry about that right now, because I have no potions of healing and I have no one who can cast a healing spell. So, the battle is very straightforward. Dear God, we defeated it. Okay, so I'm going to step back, and this is a very good practice when you have a chance, is to just kind of move away before you rest, before you really try to do anything, so that you don't get swarmed. Now, you can see the huge difference here. The Moose Rat gave me 200 experience, where Bubble Man only gave me 41, and that's appropriate because Moose Rats are hard and they hit hard. We got very lucky that time. The blessings certainly made a difference, so getting blessed is something you want to do just for the defense bonus alone. I mean, his armor was able to absorb most of that hit. He only took 2 damage. So that's tremendous. So I'm going to just be real cheap and save the game so I can enjoy that victory whenever I want. Now, I'm going to go in. Okay. I can see danger. It's ahead of me. It's this Moose Rat. And I'm going to push the S key to shoot some arrows. Now, you'll see that basically Moose Rat, although dangerous, has no ranged attacks. His tail can't whip out and hit me from afar. So this is kind of free damage to soften him up. And if you could shoot a lot of arrows. I think you can shoot 4. And they can just ace people from a distance, and that's a great way to accumulate experience. And so you really want to have range on enemies as much as you can. However, just be aware that if they can shoot or cast spells at range, they will. So you might be trading blows, but in this case, it's just purely beneficial. Now, we get another shot at him, and you can see he's wandering into combat with us red. I mean, this guy is on death's door already. So I'm going to swing with hairy hand and miss. Oh, Twinkle. Twinkle did it. Okay, so Fat Shadow has been hit again. I guess when you're obese, you make a bigger target. You probably look more delicious to the moose rats. I mean, he might be just, glistening with sweat from the excursion, and so the sweat kind of, shimmering on his volume could be just pure enchantment to the moose rat hunger. So that might explain the fact that they've been hitting him. I don't know. But what I do know is we have 2 moose rats dead, and that is getting us to the point where we're almost 1/3 of the way to 2nd level, which would be quite the accomplishment, because I think it would get some of these poor bastards in the range of not dying in one hit without blessings from a moose rat. And Twinkle especially needs some hit points. This man, I believe, has 6? Yeah, 6 hit points. And by the way, can I just take a moment to give recognition to the artist whose job it was to kind of create these icons? Because if you look at the hit point icon, it is a man getting punched in the face. And just what that communicates is like, how many times can you get punched squarely in the face? Okay? And the answer is 6. Alright? And so, you look at some of these other people, and, Hidden Hunk can get punched 11 times in the face. And that's actually very impressive. I mean, even 6 is impressive. I get punched 1 time in the face. There's a possibility that I'm dead. I'm definitely knocked out. And there's going to be a steep medical bill, and there might even be a funeral. I'm not sure, but, Twinkle, I don't want to rag on him too hard about the 6 hit points, because that's coming from where I'm at as an untrained warrior, as an academic. I still have to marvel at that. Anyway, wherever you are, whoever did this pixel art, have a drink on me. You've done something here that I salute. Alright, so we're doing really well. We defeated 2 moose rats in the Bubble Man. And if I click rest... Okay, so here's the deal. If you rest, 8 hours pass in the game. So that's another way to pass time, and you pass it exactly for 8 hours. So it is nighttime now. You can see the night sky, and it says rest complete. You've restored all of your hit points and spell points, and you've consumed 6 food in doing so. So in order to get your full health back and your spell points back, you got to have the food to cover it. If I look at my information, I see that I've got now 4 days worth of food, so I consume 1 day's of food, but everyone's full. Now, the huge downside of everyone being full is that all of our blessings from Temple Greenleaf have worn off, so we're just normal. We are no longer superhuman, carrying the fortification of the gods, so things might be much more difficult for us. Now, what I'd like to do is just poke my head into the old Raven's Guild, and oh my god, okay, I forgot about that. A secret door opens up, and it's a big skull with light beams shooting through the eye sockets, and the mouth chomping up and down faster than I'm comfortable with. A wall of stone rumbles open to reveal the glowing eyes of the Guardian. Okay, there's the Guardian. Whoever the hell... The Guardian of what? Do you wish to preserve our spells? Whoever this Guardian is, they know magic. Oh, peruse. That was good reading on my part. This Guardian doesn't guard the town, that's for sure. It's overrun. They guard the spells, alright? And they guard the spells with money. So I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to say guild info, just to get a little background. The Ravens Guild was established in the year 209, shortly after the war with the elementals. Our prices are the lowest in all of Terra. And that's probably true. It's a nice little caveat that they've got the cheapest prices. I could care less about when this was established. War with the elementals, that sounds terrible. You know, but I'm pretty myopic historically in life and in this game, so whatever. Good to know you've been around, though, just as from a consumer standpoint, that you're not just some, you know, flash-in-the-pan spell guild, that you're really established. Okay. Let's see if I can get some spells. None of my people will probably be able to get spells. Spell info, what do you got? Alright, can't even give me info. Yeah, I'd like to peruse your spells, but you're not letting me cast any of them. So that's fine. That's fine. In reality, spells are extremely good in this game, but they're also quite costly. So the nice thing is, I come out way ahead, because I save money. Alright. Here we are. Dulcet tones of light jazz, stride piano twinkling away, and the spill that keeps on coming. Now that keg in the back seems like it's going to run out at some point with that drip, but this bald, overalled man, it could just be an apron, I don't know. Doesn't care. The owner of the Lonely Hearth wipes ale off the countertop as drunken adventurers stagger around the room. Have a seat, travelers. Can I get you anything? Oh, yes, you can. The Lonely Hearth is a really depressing name for a place that sells depressants, but I guess that's the point. You come here, you get some alcohol, and you just really stew on your loneliness, but you're hoping to assuage that by meeting one of these people who are staggering around the room. The messages this is sending are quite out of date, and, you know, frankly, I'm upset, but I'm going to just see what I can get. Okay. So you can. This is where you buy food. So if you run out of food, you come here, and you get whatever this guy has made. And I'm not too eager to eat this man's food, but it's what we've got. And we can buy a drink, and that's great. And then we can give the guy a tip. And I don't know if, like, you tip him a bunch and it gives you some kind of benefit like the Temple Greenleaf does. I'm going to check it out. Maybe have a drink. Have a drink. Not really. I don't want to get drunk just yet. Let's see what rumors he's got. Find cipher to learn cartography. It is a most helpful skill to have. Alright, that's not really a rumor. That's a fact. And I already learned it. So, got anything else? No. Those are the only rumors this man has heard. And one thing I'm going to say, just off the cuff, about the aesthetic of this bar is that, you know, the whimsical fantasy setting that we get in this game doesn't help me sometimes in terms of locating this in time. These look like aluminum mugs, which would be priceless. Even metal mugs seem like they would be more expensive than glass, but maybe I'm wrong. Either way, great. But what's really catching my attention is the either brass, copper, the metallic rim of the bar, and then the little footstand running along the rail at the bottom. I mean, that seems contemporary and nice, as well does the color of this bar. I have no idea what it's made of. I mean, if it's stone, that's going nowhere. But I'm going to reassess my idea about the cuisine here. It actually looks like a really good bar given the state of things. So anyway, I don't need any drink at the moment. I'm fine on food. I'm leaving, and I'm going to just absolutely push my luck and see if I can fight another battle here. Okay, so if I look around the room just to get a sense of where I'm at, I see a bubble man and a moose rat over here, and then behind them, I believe I see the gate from before. Let me just look at that. Yep. So you can see on my map that here's me, and as I look over, I can see somewhere in perhaps like right here, or maybe right here, is the gate to this, back to this passageway. And so I'm doing a good job of mapping out Fountainhead. I'm excited about that. But I don't really want to fight both of those guys at the same time, but I don't think I really have a choice. So I'm going to back out. Now, if it wasn't already apparent, the monsters move. They don't stay in the square that they were at. And once they see you, they start to migrate. Before, when I rested, they could have shifted their location, but I think maybe because they didn't see me, they weren't gonna move around too much. But you really have to be careful when you rest, because if they do have a random traveling pattern, they can just stumble upon you, and that's not a situation that you want. So I'm gonna step back, and okay. I think you can push the spacebar to just pass time. But anyway, I moved up, and there's a limit to how much, how far away you can see them. They're really far away. So I'm gonna shoot them. Okay. Like I said before, if they have a ranged attack, they'll use it on you. So the bubble man hit me, but luckily we hit the moose rat. Okay. We hit again. And here we go. So, the moose rat has to die. And that's who I'm going to swing at first, because the bubble man I could care less about. We are doing miserable without our blessings. Okay. Dragon mouth. Alright. So what did that teach us? That taught us that without blessings we are useless at this point with the equipment that we have and the level we're at. So it was not just, overkill to have those blessings. We have to have them. So I'm going to reload the game, and we're going to need to go back to good old Temple Greenleaf, spend the outrageous amount of money, 40 or 50 gold per person, to get those blessings back, just so we can clear out that room. Because it's something that we really need to do to make any kind of progress at getting better equipment and leveling up. So I'm going to stop here. And, I know that I'm stopping after a death, but let's not be in negative spirits. Let's be really excited about the fact that we have a save system that allows us to resurrect and correct our mistakes. It's something that I personally have to have because of my own incompetence. I'd never get through life if it weren't for being able to save and go back to your save. And so this system, while the game is punishing, is gentle enough to allow even the worst of gamers to progress with enough chutzpah. So let's take a break and get back to it next time. Thank you so much for watching. Please push the like button, the subscribe button, any kind of the positive buttons that you can push. I would really appreciate it. It allows me to feed my dog Caviar, which he likes tremendously. Otherwise, it's, you know, just the kind of high-end organic $75 a bag dog food, and I just don't feel as comfortable with that. Getting fresh caviar flown in for my dog is the kind of the way I would like to go. So if you could support the channel, I would appreciate that. Also, if you could put in the comments any feedback you have about, it could be technical, it could be about the levels, you know, the video, the movement, the description, whatever, or it could be about future content. Like, is there a game that you want me to go through? Because I am willing to exhibit the bottom end of skills and knowledge at any time for you. So just let me know. And otherwise, I will check you guys in the next video.